The cathedral fell silent. 310 people, all of them frozen in a collective holding of breath. My best man, John, still had his hand raised, his declaration echoing through the vaulted ceiling like a gunshot. She's expecting my child. My bride, Emily's, mouth parted, then sealed shut. Audible gasps rippled through the pews. My mother covered her lips with both hands. But me, I simply smiled. A small, deliberate smile. And I stated with calm composure, I have been anticipating this moment for you to finally disclose the truth to everyone. That was the precise instant her complexion lost all color, because she realized she was no longer the author of this narrative. I was. John and I had been inseparable since our youth, the kind of bond people admired. He was my brother in every sense but blood. I defended him in schoolyard scuffles. He stood by my side when my father passed away. I granted him my trust without question, without any reservation, like it was as necessary as the air we breathed. And Emily, when she entered my life, she was a source of warmth where there had been only coldness, a smile that reached into parts of me I believed were impenetrable. I cherished her in a way that made me reckless. The three of us together appeared to be the portrait of perfection. Best man, groom, bride, a triangle of loyalty, unbreakable. Or so I assumed. But perfection always casts shadows if you scrutinize it long enough. At first, it was subtle, a glance that lingered for too long. Between them when they presumed I was not observing. A laugh from her that held a different cadence when he was the one telling the joke. I dismissed it. I convinced myself I was being paranoid. That is what affection does. It blinds you until the truth cuts deep enough to bleed. The moment of absolute clarity came late one night. Emily was asleep beside me. Her cellular phone vibrated on the bedside table. The name Isabel appeared, her supposed colleague. I nearly ignored it, but a knot of unease twisted in my gut. I opened the message. Just a single sentence. I can still taste you. It was from John's number under a deceptive name. My body went motionless. Fury sought to overtake me right then and there. But fury is disorganized. Fury is loud. I shut the phone, returned it to its place, and stared at the ceiling until dawn. That evening, I buried the man who loved blindly. And in his place, I commenced the construction of someone new. Retribution is not an emotion. Retribution is a grand design. I began with silence. They believed I was still in the dark. And that false belief became my most potent weapon. Every smile, every kiss, every shared supper, I permitted them to think I was unaware. In the interim, I documented every single thing. Digital communications, transfers of funds, photographs of them together when they were certain no one was looking. Private investigators filled in the details I couldn't obtain on my own. I quietly consulted with lawyers and relocated my assets. The house was in my name exclusively. The accounts were altered. Her professional investments were meticulously tracked and would soon be exposed. 3 months prior to the wedding, I had more than just proof. I had a detailed file weighty enough to shatter her completely. Yet I let the wedding day proceed because nothing stings. Quite like a betrayal revealed beneath the bright light of celebration. When John's words fractured the air, the guests thought it was utter mayhem. To me, it was a perfectly orchestrated scene. I advanced, my gaze unwavering on hers. "Thank you, John," I said, my voice composed, each syllable as sharp as broken glass, "for saving me the inconvenience." I then turned to the assembled guests. Since we are all confessing truths today, permit me to share a few of my own. From my jacket, I retrieved a small black folder, my insurance, my weapon. Inside these pages, I announced, is the story of my fiancé and my best man, a chronicle of hotel rooms, concealed accounts, and a pregnancy conceived long before this marriage was even planned. I handed it to the officiant, who appeared as if he would rather vanish than touch it. "Pass it along," I instructed him. Let the witnesses peruse the promises they never intended to speak aloud. The folder moved like a wildfire through parched fields. Page after page of images, printed correspondences, receipts. The eyes of the guests widened. Murmurs escalated into hushed whispers. Whispers devolved into condemnation. Her mother audibly gasped. His father muttered an expletive under his breath. And Emily, her hands trembling as she reached for me, pleaded, "Please, let's discuss this privately." I took a step back. My voice did not rise. It didn't need to. I gave you both my complete faith. You rewarded me with betrayal. And now I return the favor. With freedom. But not the kind you desired. The security, already informed by me days prior, approached. I gestured toward Emily's handbag. Inside, you will discover the prepaid debit cards she used for their little excursions. The police will find this quite interesting, especially since the money was transferred from her employer's charitable fund. Gasps were replaced by a sharp, cutting silence. John cursed, but I was not finished. And John, my brother, I look him directly in the eyes. You'll find the apartment lease in your name, financed by those same accounts. A lease paid for with pilfered donations. I allowed that to sink in. The walls began to close in on them. Not by my doing, but by the weight of their own choices. The guests were no longer looking at me. They were gazing at them. The perfect couple had been exposed as traitors. Their flawless image was cracking and crumbling under the burden of the evidence. Emily attempted to scream at me, attempted to twist the narrative, but her voice faltered under the murmurs of disapproval. John buried his head in his hands, the reality finally piercing through. I retrieved the vows I had prepared, folded them once, and placed them on the altar. I promise to love you until death, I stated. But betrayal is a death of its own. My vows are fulfilled. Then I looked at the audience, at the shocked faces, and declared, "The ceremony is concluded. Thank you all for attending." And with that, I walked out. Outside, the air was crisp, the sky a pale blue. I could hear the unfolding of chaos behind me, shouts, tears, the collapse of everything they believed they had kept concealed. But as for me, I felt nothing but a profound sense of clarity. People believe vengeance is a fire, a burning, uncontrollable force. They are mistaken. Vengeance is ice. It is precise, and it is patient. It freezes your adversaries where they stand and leaves them shattered when the thaw finally arrives. I didn't need to raise my voice. I didn't need to engage in a physical conflict. All I had to do was bide my time. And when the truth finally stepped into the light, it annihilated them far more effectively than any anger ever could. I walked away, unburdened and free. They were left to their own ruin, and I never once looked back.